What does it mean when we say that somebody's drug or alcohol use is quote unquote a problem or not? Or to sort of make the same point in a little different way, I'll ask this question. How many people know what the difference is between drug addiction, alcoholism, chemical dependency, being diagnosed with a substance use disorder? Or how about this? Is there a difference between substance abuse and substance use disorder? How many people know what that difference is, if there is a difference? You see, the point that I'm making is that when it comes to referring to different patterns of substance use and whatever the definition is of a problem or not, there's all these different terms that we have that get floated out there. And the problem ends up that everybody sort of grabs these different terms and mixes and matches these different words, and we all come up with our own definition of what it means to have a problem. And a lot of you out there, I'm sure, are familiar with the types of power struggles that we end up arguing with people about whether someone's substance use is a problem or not. And so I'm going to suggest that the first step towards any successful prevention, intervention, even treatment efforts is making sure that we're all on the same page as far as understanding what the problem is that we're even treating. Because the bottom line is that ends up creating all sorts of power struggles, ultimately poor treatment or prevention outcomes. A lot of people can go through treatment and get done with treatment and still not be in agreement with other people about what constitutes a problem and thus what recovery from that problem ought to look like. So again, the most important thing is we got to start at the very beginning of being clear about what it means to have a problem. Here's a shameless plug I'm making today. I made a course several years ago. It's called Understanding Substance Use Disorder, and I made it specifically to address all these issues in clarification of these different terms and some of the most important areas where there's misinformation or misperceptions that create denial and, like I said, lead to the power struggles. If you're the parent of a young person who's using THC or cannabis or whatever it is that we got to call it these days, I see so many posts online, and I talk to so many parents who are in power struggles and don't know exactly how to respond to some of these questions about cannabis use these days. Going through this course makes it really simple, because underlying all this is really the basic question of, you can tell I don't like using the term problem, but it is the term we use. Knowing whether it's a problem or not. If it's not a problem, it's not a problem. If it is a problem, it's a problem. And the answer is understanding, here's a hint. Substance use disorder is the most important term for us to understand. It's a diagnosable condition, and if somebody's got a substance use disorder, there's implications for treating that and what will happen if it's left untreated. And so there can be cannabis users who have a substance use disorder. There's some who don't have a substance use disorder. But you can see how it starts with just being informed about that. And again, that's sort of a long way of saying understanding that can take out a lot of the arguments and power struggles that we get into arguing about whether somebody's use is okay or not. On the other hand, I have a friend who went to treatment for alcoholism and drug use a few weeks ago, and I gave his wife this course after he checked in, and I got a text. I'd like to pull it up, but she said something along the lines, "Man, is this great? This makes it so easy to understand. This has helped me so much," because again, she's the spouse of someone who's gone to treatment, and she's sitting there with a lot of confusion, and she's been in the power struggles about whether, what the extent his problem, was or not. And, she texted me right back after she was halfway done with that course and saying, oh, this is so helpful. So again, shameless plug. I'm telling people about this course. It only costs $97. It doesn't take much more than an hour to go through, and it can be a real game changer as far as how things go in supporting or addressing someone whose substance use is being treated. And so again, that goes for if you're a parent of a child who's starting to dabble with substances, important for you to understand that. If you're a spouse, it'll help give you informed positions to be able to bring to the table as far as talking about what you think might need to happen. If you're a professional who works with any type of client that, where you might be in the position to address substance use, or school personnel, drug prevention starts with understanding what the problem is. My course, Understanding Substance Use Disorder, is a pretty concise but very direct and covers all the bases as far as the common areas of denial. You can get this course. It's really easy. You go to a website. It's called rehabworks.net/understanding substance use disorder. Again, it's only $97, takes you just a little more than an hour to go through. And it can be very helpful. So again, at the risk of sounding, shameless plug, I thought that I'd come on here today, make this little video to tell you about it. It can, not a lot of people know about it, and it can really make a difference in lots of people's lives who might be in this position of struggling with this. So again, the course is Understanding Substance Use Disorder. You go to the website rehabworks.net/understanding substance use disorder. I hope that you might find that helpful. Thanks.